Good evening, everyone. How are we doing? So tonight we're gonna continue Anomaly from HackSmarter. We started it yesterday, but I was a bit out of it after the week that I've had, so we're gonna continue it today. I'm already connected to the VPN and I've booted up the services. Seems that the IP addresses are the same. So let me just documents HS anomaly. You're making it very confusing. But welcome to the stream. Let's see. We do have some scans already done. We know that we have port 8080, which is Jenkins, and we have the DC where we didn't find anything as of yet. We have already added, I think we've added the data to our host file. Let me just double check. Yes, we have. Okay. So we have the data in there. Let me boot up Burp. I'll need to re-add the IP addresses because I'm using the free version for this. And we've already searched on we've done a brute force, a directory brute force on the DC on the web, but there wasn't anything there. Target scope. And then we have the web, which is 155. There we go. Now we need a browser as well. We can try a few. Okay, so you're a bit further ahead than I am with this. We can try dev invalid admin. Does it actually work? It does. Okay. So we have access to Jenkins now with admin, which is good. If you don't know anything about Jenkins, it's a build service, so you can set up any kind of jobs. You can create agents that will execute those jobs. Now let's see, we seem to have 2 executors, so hey Vicky, I've started out as a engineer, so software developer, about what, 18 years ago. Yeah, I know, it's showing my age. I started in software development, mainly web applications, and then slowly transitioned into sysadmin. I was doing network security, application security, and from there on I've started doing more pen test. My first certification was OSCP, and then after that I got a job in dedicated cybersecurity. And at the moment I'm doing a mixture of pen testing, red teaming, and SOC analyst. So I'm doing the defending side as well. And I do have to admit, having the ability to break into stuff helps you know how to defend. Okay. Yeah, no spoilers. Let's see where we get from there. So we do have a node, which means we can we can actually create a job and execute it. Let me just take a screenshot for my notes. So we have system here, and this is Groovy script. Let's see how Groovy is executing. I think it's somewhere here. Let's copy this script. Web shell. Well, let me first get a shell back, and then we can look at getting root. But that's already a spoiler because you're already telling me that it's not the builder is not running as root. There isn't anything or any particular thing that you can do. What I would suggest you look into is do as much practice in terms of Hack the Box, HackSmarter, and platforms of the like, and get the certification that would basically prove what you know. And then when you go to an interview, it's going to be a case of showing and demonstrating that you know what you're talking about. Be confident in your abilities, be able to speak to how would you run a pen test end to end, and that, I know nobody likes this, reporting. The reporting side is very, very important. It doesn't matter if you can exploit 10 servers. If nobody can follow your pattern to actually fix those exploits, you haven't done a really good job. So that's one of the reasons why I take notes as I go, because it allows me to then create the reporting from that. And you can see the way I'm creating my notes. You can see it on the website. I'm posting every single machine that I do. I post the write-up there. So I take screenshots, I go step by step of what is needed to actually exploit that vulnerability. And also, most of the time, you will be required to provide recommendation on how to fix it. So we have that, bin bash. So I'm not storing my notes on the VM. I'm storing my notes on the main machine, on the host. And yeah, it would take up disk space, but I'm storing them, as I said, I'm storing them on my main machine because it's just easier that way. I have a lot of notes, and I don't really want them disappearing when I have to rebuild the machine, because that's why we use VMs for this sort of activity, is because it's a throwaway VM. You can rebuild it from scratch and you're gonna get the same environment. That's why most of the stuff that's important to me, like my notes or exploits or scripts like that that I create, those go on the main machine, and I can store them in GitHub or any other place. Right, so we have bin bash. I have those are the hack the box certificates, aren't they? I haven't done any hack the box certificates as of yet. I've actually started last week CRTL from 0 Point Security, and that's going to be my main focus for the next, I don't know, probably a couple of months. Right, let's do that. We start Penelope, and let's see if we can get a shell back using this Groovy script. It probably won't work, but yeah, exactly. So those reports actually have, oh, we have a shell. So we've actually managed to get the reverse shell here. Yeah, I do agree. Pentest reports and red team reports are probably the most important part of pentesting and red teaming. It doesn't matter how many vulnerabilities you have, if you cannot communicate that data to whoever is responsible of fixing it, it's pointless. Okay. Definitely CRTO. Definitely CRTO. CRTL is basically the succession of CRTO. Well, let's see if we can get some password for the user Jenkins here. We have a secret key, but that doesn't really tell us anything. Node monitors. Master key. That's not really anything of interest here. Do we need to move to a different user? Well, there's Ubuntu, which is basically from AWS. We don't really have a password for Jenkins, but let's see. Okay, so we can use router config. Let's take a screenshot of this. So we are Jenkins at the moment on this system, and we can run router config as root. So let's see. File. Thank you for the follow, CyberSecWiz. It's a ELF binary strings. Welcome to router config utility. No, I didn't have a challenge. We did a shared stream a few weeks ago. We still need to finish the machine that we started. I'm not sure when we're gonna do that, but yeah, it's planned as a next stream. So based on the strings that we're seeing here, it's gonna apply a configuration from a specific file. Let's take a screenshot of that. So let's see what this actually does. And we give it configuration applied successfully. Var Jenkins. Okay, so we need it somewhere else. Well, what else does it do? Because just applying a configuration won't actually do anything for us. Well, I need to figure out what the binary is doing. Without knowing that, it doesn't really help me do anything. system. And I don't really feel like decompiling the binary. Not sure if it's a standard binary or not. No. So I think it's a custom binary, which doesn't really tell us anything. So nothing there. Can we copy user? Okay. Python 3. Yeah, I'm gonna probably look for that as well, but I just want the binary locally so I can analyze it a bit better. What's the IP address of the web server? 10.1.114.155 8090. There we go. Hey Brussels, good evening. Oh, nice. Well, let us know how it goes. So it seems to be running a command from that file. Which is parameter 2 here. Oh, okay. Let's check something. Oh no, because that's executing. There we go. We have root. So decompiling it tells me that it's here it's gonna copy the parameter 2 into local 218, and then it's gonna execute local 218. That's the variable name. Basically what we've done here is command injection with the file name. So let's take some screenshots and write some notes. So that was quite easy to get root. Well, it's useful. There's also another one that you can use. It's IDA. I don't think I have IDA. Oh no, I do have IDA as well. Also, there's Binary Ninja, which I don't have here. But for Binary Ninja, you need to pay. I think out of the three, probably Binary Ninja is my favorite for binary analysis. But it's a paid application. Now, does root have an SSH folder so I don't have to yes. But it doesn't have an SSH key. Doesn't really matter. Well, this is just reading C code, basically. Because it's Ghidra decompiles it into C. So you just, I know what certain functions do. I'm not a C programmer or C++ programmer by any chance, but I know what certain functions will do. So I know system will execute commands on the, like a shell. And SNPrintf, I saw that, oh, it's passing the variable and it's passing in two parameters. One is gonna format the string, and this is the length of what it's copying in binary. So this is 512, and we see that it's a character of 520. So they gave a bit more padding than what is needed. So it's just reading and understanding what the code will do. And that a lot of that comes from the background in programming. There we go. We have our SSH key there. There we go. So we've managed to add our SSH key to the root configuration, giving us root SSH. Yeah, exactly. So you understand how the code will follow the syntax there, and that will help you understand what's going on. Thank you for the follow, play for fun. So we managed to get the user flag. Let's see, was Ghidra right? Yeah, so Ghidra actually decompiled the program quite well. Judging by the C code that we have here. Yes. Let's put it this way. Most code, if you can read English, which you can understand what's going on. And if you don't know what the function does, you can simply Google it and find out. What do you need? Play for fun. let's see what's actually, you know what, we can actually exit the Jenkins shell. We no longer need it. So now our objective is to find some information that's related to the DC that we need to move into, because basically the web box is done up to this point. Let's see. What do you have for us? Play for fun. So I don't think there's any pivoting to that extent, because we can access the DC straight from our network. However, there might be a need to use Kerberos from this box onto the DC. We don't know. So let's try to help play for fun as well. So you have a VPS. I don't know what Pelican is, and I have never used Wings either, so not sure I can help. But if you can describe the errors that you're having, maybe we can help out there. There we go. So we do have Kerberos set up here on the Windows box, which is cool. Let's see, hosts. It should be defined in here, or not. Maybe it's using the data as a DNS. Okay. So well, we're in an Active Directory environment, right? I'm expecting the Linux box to be connected to the Active Directory server, and that requires a Kerberos file. Jenkins was admin, which I doubt is gonna use for which I doubt is gonna use for be useful for the Active Directory domain, but I'm actually looking for something else. When you log in with Kerberos, it will create a ticket. But I don't think we have that here, at least not one that I can see yet. Let's see. Play for Fun came back with some details. You know what, Play for Fun? How about we do this differently? Go to Discord and we can have a chat after the stream there, because I can help a lot better there. You're limited with what you can answer, and I do want to get through the stream as well. But happy to help. I've set up multiple servers of different types, so we can figure it out. Any active connections except for ourselves at the moment? No, so we have SSH, which is us, 8080. Yeah. Okay. So we don't have any credentials as of yet. I will run LinPEAS just so I do a full enumeration. Yeah, but I'm gonna excuse me. So I'm just gonna run LinPEAS, which should put out any CC cache file as well, because I also want to do a thorough enumeration, and LinPEAS is helpful for that. Scripts. But I know this is a cloud environment, so I'm not gonna run. I'm gonna run it with limited options. I don't want to waste time on investigating cloud, so I'm just gonna take that out of there. There we go. So for certifications like OSCP and stuff like that, I do suggest you create a path of what you want to run. So LinPEAS is one of my go-to tools for enumeration, just because it's very thorough. On a Windows side, I use WinPEAS or Seatbelt, depending on the environment. So why is it stuck? Yeah, any script that doesn't automatically exploit is allowed. So any kind of enumeration scripts, you're free to use. And also, I might add, you are free to create your own scripts as well, as long as you provide them with the code so they can recreate the same steps. Okay, that's taking some time. No, so if it's, if I remember correctly, any tool that just enumerates does not automatically exploit, you're fine to use. So for example, I know you're not allowed to use burp professional. Why? Yeah, so SQL map won't be allowed. You're gonna have to exploit that manually. Okay, let's remove containers as well. And in the meantime, we can continue with the manual enumeration. Yeah, see, that's a lot faster now. Yeah, I do agree with that. Port Swigger is very good. What do you expect? They've created the burp suite, haven't they? So there's no point in us trying to decrypt that password. We know that's already admin. There we go. So we have a user on the domain. So we have a username now. And we even get an kadmin database error. Okay, let's go. Let's see. You know what? I'm gonna do something. There we go. Now we basically copied the Kerb5 keytab locally. Do you want to work in the field, Peaky? Missing val. Nice. Well, good luck with that. Let's see what Google has to say about that. Do we need to do some weird setup for our Kerberos config? Basically you can impersonate that user on the DC. Because if we look, this is a binary file, so it won't show properly. But basically this contains the credentials for that user on that DC. So what I'm trying to do is configure my local instance, because this is locally, to communicate there. That would allow me to run BloodHound and all the other stuff that I need for an Active Directory. But it seems like I need to do some let's see. Okay, so okay, so it doesn't want to. It's trying to authenticate straight to that, so that's not good. That's not what we need. Let's see. Nope. So that's not working. Did you actually manage to authenticate the server or not yet? let's see, does this actually allow? Okay, so it is set and it's responding correctly. Okay. Yeah, we can do that as well. Feel free to share the link if you want. What's the command? Okay, T. Yeah, so no, so this is this on its own won't allow you to authenticate. You need a ticket cache, CC cache file, which we don't have yet. That's why I was trying to use the kadmin command, but it's not set up correctly, and I'm not gonna go through that whole process. We can, as Peaky Blinder said, we can try to extract this. So let's have a look at that GitHub repository. And thank you for that. Oh, come on. There we go. Okay. Let me add that to the notes. And thank you for the pointer. So, yeah, if you look at the README here, it will extract the NTLM hash that you can then use to authenticate as that user. There we go. So we have that's an AES hash. Unable to extract NTLM hashes. That's not useful. So I've done a git clone of the repository and basically used the Python file to extract the AES hash. but it cannot actually extract the NTLM hash, so it's not very useful. That's not good. Can we use... So you can use the AS hash then? Okay. I just want to see if KUnit has keytab file. Okay. KT keytab. And we need to specify, yeah, we need to specify the principal. I just want to see if we can actually authenticate using the keytab. And we can. No, don't worry. I'm free to... So yeah, instead of going with the hashes, I've just used... Because I already have the Kerberos file set up on my local machine, I can do that. Yeah, this is a different way to authenticate. I'm not using the hash in any way, I'm just using the keytab file. I know you can use the AES hash with Rubius and stuff like that. I didn't know that Impacket made use of it as well. I've always just used the NTLM hash. So basically now we should have access to the DC with this user. So what we can do is BloodHound. Actually no, before I run BloodHound, I want to see NXC SMB. I think, let me check the parameters, but I think it's Kerberos and no password. Yeah. What? No, C cache. What was it? That's it. well, yeah, we do have a user. Brandon Boyd. So we do have a user, and we also have access to read some SMB shares. Yes, so NXC is really the Swiss knife, Swiss Army knife of Active Directory at this point, because it can basically do everything. So before we do anything else, I'm just gonna run BloodHound because I do want to figure out where we stand. So let me bring up BloodHound and delete the old data. And BloodHound C Python. Okay, well. Use Kerberos CC file, no pass, okay. And we need DNS TCP. And name server. What's the IP address? Oh, we need the username as well, which in our case is Brandon Boyd. Yeah, that's responsible. So the Ccache is basically telling NXC to use this file that we've generated previously with K in it. That's why we do the export, and then we do the. So we've done K in it to generate the ticket, and if we run klist, it will show us, okay, we have a ticket as Brandon Boyd with that file. Name server. What's the error? We have the DC. Not really. I use the collector that I have here with Python because there are so many collectors, and I've had issues in the past where one collector didn't work with the newer version of BloodHound and all of that, so I tend to map them, but we can try to use NXE to collect BloodHound as well. But that's over LDAP. Yeah, that's also a possibility. So we need to specify some more data. So it cannot find the domain server. It's DNS server 10.1.194.14. Let's try it with just the DNS server. Okay, so apparently we cannot do that. But what we can do, because we do have this users, because we do have the authentication here, we can list some users, and we have a password. If that's not the password, yeah. Let's double check, but I'm pretty sure that's a password. It looks like a password to me. So what we can do is same thing, but we use random void to validate if this actually is a password or not. And it's not. At least not for random void. Is it for Anna? No. Yeah, that's a good point. We can try SMB as well. Nope. No. So that's not the password. We've actually done yesterday an LDAP search that returned more Because that looks like a password to me, but we don't have all the users. We don't have everything in there. So let's just do... And we've actually used this one yesterday. Okay, so a successful bind must be performed. Great. Can LDAP search use Kerberos? No. I've been getting that error message on HackSmarter whenever the password is wrong. It's weird. I don't know why. It has something to do with how the VPN is configured. What I can also try is use the IP address, because I found that sometimes NXE will cache stuff. But yeah, it's giving me this error whenever the password is wrong. Not sure why. Wait just a second. I've had this before, and one of the solutions was to put actually NXE LDAP tech K generate hosts file test hosts. What's the command? Okay. It's over SMB. Okay. And I'm doing that because we've had issues in the past where we've had a Kerberos file and it didn't resolve properly for BloodHound because of that, because the host file was not correct. So let's try to run BloodHound again. No, that still fails. NXC BloodHound. No, that still fails. Okay. To try all services, yeah, would be something. Okay, so the BloodHound collection doesn't work. We have that password, but it's still not. Let's list modules. User descriptions. Maybe it's gonna get us more users, but I doubt it. It is. That's why it's not working. I didn't have the right password. I was missing 3 characters there. And that's because my terminal is too big. Oh, why am I trying WinOram? I don't want WinOram. Okay. There we go. So we actually have the password now. My mistake there. So that means if we are lucky, we could use this and do a BloodHound collection. Yes, so we missed the characters because it was on a new line and I didn't see it. Let me show you on the screenshot here. Where is it? Here. This is the end of the password, and because I have my terminal, normally I have it like this. This is my actually no, even more, even one lower. So yeah, because it's zoomed in, I missed it. Oh, come on. There we go. So now we can start up BloodHound and import the data and have a look at what we have. Yeah, well, right, I need to remove the previous data. And this is the data that we have from baby from yesterday. Yeah, I seem to have a few people lurking, but they don't want to chat. It's only you two guys that... but that's fine. As usual, I'm happy to answer any questions. And you should see the write-up afterwards as well. Come on, are you done? Yeah, I know, HackSableSec. You prefer to lurk. It's fine. Lurking is allowed. Anomaly, loot, BloodHound. Open. Come on, I don't look that serious. It's probably because it's too dark. Right, so we have the data in BloodHound. Let's see. We have Brandon. Brandon Boyd. We can mark him as owned because we have the actual password now. Domain users and users. Well, not very helpful. So let's have a look. Who's a domain admin? So Anna is a domain admin, and we've already seen her previously. Yeah, so I don't care about that really. We don't have foreign groups. Any Kerberos users? No. ASREP roastable? Nope. Constrained delegation? Unconstrained delegation, pardon me. No. Anomaly. Not. Okay, that's a bit of a spider web. Let's see. Let me check something. Yeah, it doesn't work. That's good. That would have been too easy. No, just the default shares, sysvol. We can look in sysvol for some scripts, which will be my next stage. But I'm just going through BloodHound at the moment. I was explicitly looking for any outbound object controls, but we don't have anything. It's not trusted for delegation. So yeah, not much this user can do from that point. So let's do okay, I need Brandon, not that one. SMB. Yeah, I always forget. Well, thanks for joining, and hopefully you've learned something by watching. See you Wednesday. Have a nice evening, Peaky Blinders, and if I don't see you before then, good luck with the OSCP exam. Thank you. So there's just some normal policies, nothing no scripts or anything there, which is not useful in our case. Let's have a look at BloodHound again. I feel like that's not the complete BloodHound. I don't know why, because it's not showing all the users. It should be in authenticated users as well. So I want to run the normal BloodHound collection that I normally do. There we go. Oh, and that one fails. Oh, because I'm giving it Kerberos. I don't want Kerberos. And still fails. LDAP. Is it LDAPs? Channel binding. Nope. It's failing. They say DNS TCP, yes. Yeah. We've had this issue before, and let me check. Hello. Yes, that's all I'm doing on stream. It's basically hack the box, HackSmarter or any other platform that I can stream, that I'm allowed to stream. That's what I do. Let's just try a simple collection. And it fails to resolve. DNS TCP still fails to resolve. Let's give it a name server instead of DNS TCP. 10.1.194.114. There we go. Finally. Now let's import this data. So the reason why I wanted to run the BloodHound collector instead of netexec is normally when you have a authenticated user, it should show up in that group, and for some reason our user Brandon was not showing as being part of that group. There we go. So we have 6 groups now. We used to have 2. So NXE actually missed a few of the groups. And we have certificate service. So certify, something along those lines maybe. Let's see. Let's see if BloodHound can do a path to Anna. No, it cannot. Basically, what I want to do now is run certify to find certificate authorities and maybe vulnerable certificates that we can exploit. So, certify AD. IP is actually, let's do vulnerable. I wonder if BloodHound will say that. ESC1. No. No, so BloodHound does not show us anything there, but we do have the output from certify. Right, so we have the CA name, certificate templates. Okay. So we can, in theory, we can exploit this. Which means, right, where are my notes on certify? Oh, that's not what I copied. Right. ID request. DC is that. We need the CA, which is the certificate authority. From here, we need the template name, which is certadmin. UPN, and I'm gonna use Anomaly because we know she's an administrator. No. So we're not allowed to enroll for this certificate. Why? We needed the main computer for that. We're not allowed to enroll. We need to add a machine account, basically. Let's check. NXC SMB. We don't know if we are allowed to add machine accounts. We should be. No, it's under. Is it under LDAP? Yeah, it is under LDAP. Yeah, machine account quota. Right. Let me write that into the notes. So, yeah. And we actually can add 10 machines to the domain, which is good. Okay, so Certify can add a machine account for us, so let's do that. So we need a user. We need that bit to replicate account, create. And that's the normal data that we need. And we need a user. Let's call it Psycho, and it's a machine account. Let's use the same password as for the other user, so we make it more confusing, and we need a DNS name for it. There we go. So that should create a machine account called Psycho with that password, and then we can exploit we should be able to exploit the template. Okay. We could have used other tools to create the machine account. If I'm not mistaken, Bloody AD will do that as well. But we've started using Certify, so let's use Certify. Oh, that failed. Does it need a full? Yep, okay, that worked. So it actually needed the full account name. That's fine. There we go. And now basically we can do that. Yeah. We should be able to do the requests now. And we have an anomaly.pfx. And now we can do certify authenticate, basically. Where's my... PFX anomaly 10.1.194.14 PFX. Good. Okay, it's it's asking me for a DC host and target, and then it's complaining when I'm giving it the parameters. Oh. Okay. Right, so SID mismatch, that's fine, we can fix that with Certify. We just need to grab the SID for Anna from BloodHound, which is that bit there. So let's see what the command looks like for requesting with the SID. SID. So we have the UPN, SID. What? That's a connection error. Okay. That worked. Basically now we should be able to authenticate using the previous authentication command. There we go. And that gives us the NTLM hash for Anna, which is a domain admin. So at this stage, yeah, we have compromised the DC completely. Let me just take some notes, and then yeah, we can grab the root flag as well. But we have the hash, so I'm not in any rush. Oh, thank you for the contribution. I think we're getting close. Yeah, with 64% raised. Right. Is Anna allowed WinRM? I'm assuming so. Yeah. She's an admin, so it should be standard. So let's exit that. Oh, why do I still have a shell open? I don't need that anymore. We'll WinRM. What was the 10.194.14? Actually, is WinRM actually open? I don't remember because we did a scan yesterday. No, there's no WinRM. Okay, so that's gonna fail. Yeah, exit. And we know from the data that was provided for us in the documentation that there is Defender running on there, so we cannot simply run anything. I will go with Adaptix. Nah, I'm not gonna use Veil. I have a Rust runner that's bypassing Defender by default, so I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna go with Adaptix C2 to get a beacon there. So let's do that. Recommend C2 Adaptix test. Let's create a new listener over HTTP. That's the address, and I want port 80, 10 200 47 3 port 80. Generate agents. I want shellcode. Generate. Anomaly exploits agent 64 bin. There we go. So we have that saved. Now I do need my command of VM because I'll need to compile the Rust runner with the new IP address. Bear with me while that boots up. And you can find the Rust runner. It's a public repo on my GitHub. So there we go. Yeah, I need to add that as a command. I haven't added. So this is in process, that's fine. Oh yes, there's so many things that you need to do well when starting streaming that it can be a bit overwhelming. 10 to 147 3 10 to 147 3. I'm gonna host that on 8443 agent x64.bin. If I remember correctly, that's the file that I generated. Yes. Perfect. So let's split that. Oh no, I already have it there, so I don't need to split that. What are you streaming? Still cybersecurity content? Oh, nice. Make sure to... Oh, you're doing AI exploits. Have you seen the report on Mythos? Yeah, apparently they're not gonna release that one because it's too good. Which is a bit annoying, but nice. Right, so we have the binary here. So that means we can just serve that like that, and we can use NXC actually. Over SMB. At least create a write-up about it. So we should be able to execute commands via the SMB. She is an admin. We just needed to use the domain name instead of the IP address. There we go. And then once we get the callback to agent x64.bin, we know we have an Adaptix shell. Why is it? So the first command executed successfully, but then it seems like subsequent PowerShell commands are being blocked. Let's see. And now it executed. And there we go. So the defender on the box basically said, yeah, I know you're executing something malicious, but it doesn't care. Yeah, so we're in C, users, administrator, desktop. And we can get the flag from here. What's with the weird characters? There we go. So we've basically managed to get an active shell, even with Defender being on the box. Any questions about what we've done? I think that's enough. I will be posting the more stealthily. Well, first of all, I would probably not run BloodHound. I would use manual enumeration for that. I wouldn't run BloodHound a million times. I wouldn't do any of that. Because it's quite loud. With Certify, another thing that you can do is to try to find a machine account that you already have access to, instead of adding a new machine account, because that also can be quite loud. And most definitely I would not be copying files to disk to execute shells or anything of that sort. And once you, let's put it this way, once you get the hash of a domain admin, you kind of report it. You would report it even before you get the hash. You would report when you end up at the stage of Certify, finding the vulnerable templates. Depending on the engagement, of course. But if you do want to get something in the DC, you don't run, you don't copy files on the DC. And for example, me running these commands would have triggered alerts. Probably Windows tools, so living off the land. But even those, most EDR solutions and most SIM parties will detect, because a normal employee will not be looking for those, will not run any of that. There we go. I've added the GitHub command as well. It depends on the engagement and depends on what you actually need to achieve in the engagement. If it's a pen test, then you don't really care about being loud. If it's a red team, then you need to care, and you need to do your OSINT beforehand to know, okay, what are they using, what telemetry they're receiving from those specific boxes. Because we already had access to a Linux box, that would also give you an indication, because normally you have so BloodHound does, but BloodHound is very, very loud because it does a lot of queries very fast. So you can manually do those enumeration, but how often does a user check who's an admin on the network, or what groups an admin is part of, or what GPOs they have access to? That sort of stuff you don't necessarily do as a normal user in an enterprise. And it's not just it's not, don't think about it as, oh, you're just interacting with LDAP, so no. So a very few Windows processes would ask who's the domain admin on the network. That's not needed. That information is really not needed. And the connection itself is tracked, but keep in mind, all the queries are also sent to most likely a SIM. And what that does, it collects all the logs from every single tool that you have, and it will try to detect anomalies. And by that I mean, why is user X querying who's a domain admin on LDAP? Because they can see the queries in plain text. They can see that. Yes, I think most of the properties you can get, but how about we do a stream at some point where we try to get the same data that BloodHound gives us, and we do have. So we have computers. As you can see, it's getting everything. So and this sort of stuff, you would have to query LDAP for each individual instance to get all that data. And yeah, you can, but you need to do it in such a way that it doesn't raise any kind of suspicion. If you go straight for, okay, show me all domain admins and show me all the groups that are related to domain admins and all the users, that's gonna raise some eyebrows. But it depends. It depends on what systems anyone has there. All right, I will try to schedule a stream to do just that, to do manual LDAP enumeration to match the output of BloodHound. I'll put it in the schedule with that title, and then we can go over it. I think that would be quite interesting. We can even just restart Anomaly from HackSmarter, and we can have a look. Let's see if there's anyone streaming that I can drop you guys off to. Let me have a look. Okay, so nobody from that's on InfoSec stream is live now. No. Okay, so I cannot find anyone doing any kind of hacking, unfortunately. So Thank you, and have a nice weekend. But I am streaming again tomorrow. My normal stream. Basically, this is a recovery from Wednesday because I've missed that stream. Yeah. Okay. Let's do Team Wash because they're doing software development and we've seen them before. So thank you again, everyone. Have a nice rest of the weekend and see you tomorrow.